So technology changes every single week, as you guys know, if you're playing gaming and you love technology, I'm sure you do. So technology is changing quite a lot. So you got to keep up to date with any journals that comes out, or we do collaborate with someone called JISC as well. So they give us up-to-date updates coming in every week. So we're making sure we're keeping in line. I'm not saying it is a challenge, especially when you have limited funding as well. But like I said, this year main focus was AI. We've got to make sure that all the students are using AI effectively and safely as well. Good question. So a manager is managing small team or maybe larger team as well. You've got more responsibilities of strategic decisions, maybe leading on projects, different types of projects, bringing new ideas, growing your team. Leader, you might just be leading on one thing at a time. Still, you can possess certain skills that manager have, but manager is much more broader than leader. But you still got to have good communication skills, problem solving skills, being fair and equal, supporting that team as well, and good listening as well. You got to be active listening. It's not nice if someone wants to talk to you and you're not there to listen to them, because you don't want to make them feel undervalued. So active listening is part of that as well. So yeah, it is very hard to switch off. So I had to have like a bit of a strictness with myself, but I struggled when I started working in education. I used to take home with me and I'd be like, I can't switch off. So I remember Netflix used to help me, or a documentary on TV, or music.
Good morning, Josephine. Thank you for agreeing to come onto the podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
If we could just start with a quick introduction to who you are and what you are doing now, please.
So my name is Josephine Grech. I am a biology lecturer at Cardiff and Vale College, and also an anti-racism lead and a digital lead. I do quite a lot of different roles within the further education setting, and currently doing a PhD in virtual reality and forensic science.
What school did you go to, and what influence did this have upon your career choices?
So I came from Malta. At the age of 14, I moved to Wales, and I attended Archbishop McGrath in Bridgend. It was quite a new setting for me. So it was really quick for me to kind of adjust and learn and make friends because I didn't know anyone. But there was one of the lecturers that she was very supportive. She made sure that I was fine and so on. And I was getting involved in different types of extracurricular activities as well, which then she inspired me or encouraged me more not to give up on education and just to pursue my dreams.
Sweet, now on to you.
Is it? Oh. Yeah. When did you leave Archbishop McGrath, and does attending a secondary Catholic school have a difference compared working in a non-Catholic establishment such as Cardiff and Vale College?
So I left, oh gosh, now you're gonna know how old I am, guys. I left around, I think it was around 2006 or 7. So because I was doing year 10 and 11. The faith school, because I'm Catholic, it kind of helped me aligning what I believe in and being in this and follow my faith. It was very supportive in terms of that. Well, I did get bullied along the way as well, being new to the school. But it is different because you get like the Catholic ethos and everyone is supporting each other. I'm not saying in Cardiff and Vale we don't do that. We actually got a really good team of lecturers. but the center of it was more to do with faith, whereas in a non-faith school, you don't get that.
Does being a Catholic guide your life choices when it comes to being a good person morally?
Yeah, it kind of make you think how to be more respectful. Make you feel a lot calmer, and it guides you in decision making as well. I'm not saying I'm following my fate as I should do, because when it comes to busy schedule and stuff, I do miss out on like attending church on a Sunday, for example. But it does help you in dealing with things differently, definitely, because there will be some difficult conversations or difficult situations that you will feel like you just want to give up or doing the wrong things, but then you just take a step back and reflect. And having faith, it has helped me a lot.
So what values from your early life do you maintain in your personal and professional? What are you doing, Belle? Anyway, in your personal and professional life.
Can you repeat that again? Sorry, cut off.
So what values from your early life do you maintain in your personal and professional life? Is it me? No? Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm doing fine, guys. I think that's a tricky question, to be fair. When you say value, what do you mean by that?
So like something that you were taught at a young age and you can still keep you know.
Ooh. I don't think there's anything that I think I've been taught a lot of stuff by my grandma, but I don't kind of follow it through right now. So
Bell shoe.
You're pink, Serena.
Oh no. Oh, how important? Shut up, hear you. How important is it to shape positive experiences into a child? Stop laughing! Oh my god! Stop. Right. How important is it to shape positive experiences into a child's life? I'm gonna mute you here now. Anyway, how important is it to shape positive experiences into a child's life from an early age that can hopefully provide a positive outlook into their life, being an outcome of those experiences?
So the reason why I'm a lecturer, I just want to give things that I didn't have in school. So positive experiences, I always have the rule in my classroom. I don't want to hear about negative stuff. I just want positive stuff. But also I always like to share my experiences, whether they're negative or positive, to make sure my learners are not doing the same thing. So positive is very important for you to grow, and to make better decisions within your future or career aspirations.
Moving over to career and development. It's me. Shut up. Moving over to career and development. What was your first?
After this?
Pardon?
I hope you guys are gonna do some editing after this.
Definitely.
What was your first job and how have you progressed in your career, including knowledge, skills, and experience?
So my first job was science technician at Cardiff and Vale College. I quickly moved on to becoming a lecturer. So after 6 months, they saw that I'm wasted washing beakers and locked into an office. So I was lucky enough to be sponsored by Cardiff and Vale College and moved on to become a lecturer. So after, doing the PGCE, teacher training, I was doing some skills competition, where I'm still leading on it right now. And then after 2 years, I graduated as a lecturer in biology and chemistry.
So what are the most important lessons that you've learned from your career so far?
Not to give up, not to listen to people if they're putting you down. Just don't listen to them. You know what you want, you know your dreams. So do prove them wrong. I did, because I heard some people telling me that I can't be a forensic scientist or I can't be a lecturer, but I like to challenge them back. So yeah, definitely do not listen to people that are so negative.
And did you plan for when you started your career and what you wanted to do and how you were going to get there?
So I actually planned to be a crime scene investigator or forensic scientist, and I wanted to retire as a teacher, but because I've got 2 young kids, teacher would have worked very well for me. So I kind of flipped my career plans. So I started with being a teacher. Not sure if I want to retire as a forensic scientist, because I do enjoy being in education and I'm doing quite well within it. But yeah, I did have some career plans because I do like to organize myself and the way I want to move forward.
And how do you like to be managed? Do you like direction? Do you like self-automation? Or do you like to lead and work on projects within the freedom of growing the projects through the motivation to have that success?
So I'm a bit of a boss lady, so I like to lead and telling people what to do in a positive way. But if they were managing me, I like clear instructions. I like to be directed. I like to be supported. I don't like to be not knowing what I'm doing, because, like I said, I'm quite organized. But I've led a lot of different types of projects. For example, AI project recently, and also the anti-racism. I'm a curriculum coordinator. But yeah, definitely if someone is managing me, I need to know what I'm doing. So clear instructions is very important.
And what advice would you give anyone looking to start out in their career?
The advice I would give, like I said before, just if it is your dream, just follow it. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Seek support. There's going to be a lot of support network around. And don't give up. Sometimes you're going to come up with challenges. Some challenges is not going to be straightforward, but don't give up within what you want to do.
And how have you found purpose in your life, and what advice do you give to those who may be lacking identity and purpose in their current period of life?
Can you repeat the first part? Sorry.
So how have you found purpose in your life, and what advice would you give to those who may be lacking to identify themselves?
So I think with me, the purpose of my life, I always had people telling me I can't do this because of my English, and learned English in 3 months. I'm being from a different country. So my purpose was to prove those people wrong, and I'm very good at doing that. I like to challenge people back. And if someone is going through something similar, which I do advocate young people that are in similar shoes that I was before, to not give up, to keep going and prove people wrong, because you know yourself. No one else know you better than yourself and your family. So they shouldn't have any opinions on your careers, on what you want to do.
So how do you support adults and young people within their learning and own growth?
So I like to create a safe environment where people can ask any questions. There's no stupid questions. I used to have people be scared to ask me questions because they think they're going to ask a stupid question. I'm very approachable as well. I like to share my experience of how hard it was for me, and some of them, they can relate to it. I do a lot of one-to-one support outside the classroom as well, and helping them with different types of issues that might have, or any skills or any advice that they might need of me. And I think both adults and young, they always found it very helpful, because they always lack in confidence. And the encouragement and the support, it does help them to grow within what they want to do.
What is the difference between a manager and a leader?
Oh, that's a good question. So a manager is managing small team or maybe larger team as well. You've got more responsibilities of strategic decisions, maybe leading on projects, different types of projects, bringing new ideas, growing your team. Leader, you might just be leading on one thing at a time. Still, you can possess certain skills that manager have, but manager is much more broader than leader. But you still got to have good communication skills, problem solving skills, being fair and equal, supporting that team as well, and good listening as well. You got to be active listening. It's not nice if someone wants to talk to you and you're not there to listen to them, because you don't want to make them feel undervalued. So active listening is part of that as well.
Moving on to current work and projects. You're currently a biology lecturer as well as an anti-racism curriculum coordinator. How is your role from lecturer diverse into having additional role as anti-racism curriculum coordinator, and how have you started to develop the culture and address racism within the workplace even further with the workplace?
So I like to do different stuff. I'm kind of multi-talented person. So anything that I see that I'm interested, I jump onto it. So like I said, if you see an opportunity, jump onto it. So being a lecturer, it gives you that kind of open space to grow in different types of roles. So it could be digital, it could be any skills, competitions. But with the anti-racism, because it's quite close to my heart, and I've experienced quite a share bit of racism in my life. I thought this is something that I can make changes through my lived experience. So I applied for it and I got the role, and I've been doing it for the past 3 years now. But I am more curriculum coordinator, so I look at developing new content with other lecturers outside the college and inside the college as well. But my main role also is to make sure we're embedding the curriculum as well. What we're trying to do is make sure that it is diversified, there's a sense of belonging, and we're just following the Anti-Racist Wales Agenda 2030. So I've been training a lot of lecturers around colleges, but also our lecturers within Cardiff and Vale, and make sure that every single person from every community have their voices heard. And we're learning from history and from each other as well, as one united community.
How do you bring staff on board with you to buy into the project, into the culture, and to adapt new approaches, especially when staff and people in general can be reluctant to change?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've had a bit of a share on that, being a digital lead and anti-racism lead, more so with anti-racism lead. The question always, why do I have to do this? I'm not a racist person. But I just the way I approach it is I explain why is it important. As being a lecturer, we've got the right and we've got the care as well to bring new ideas into the classroom, and we're not limiting anyone with that knowledge. So I do explain it. I give a lot of support because some of the lectures is lacking a bit of confidence, which is understandable. So supporting that and show them how to do it, and then they will create their own lessons. But I'm not saying everyone is on board. I'm not saying my strategy do work, because we still have a small proportion of lecturers that don't want to be part of it, or they don't see the reason why they should do it.
Does your work as an anti-racism curriculum project coordinator allow you to work outside of Cardiff and Vale College and to work with other schools and companies?
Yeah, definitely. It allows me to network with charities. So I've worked with a charity in Newport, where I've been talking about the metaverse. So we've got a metaverse free accessible. Anyone can access it by going onto the link, which I can share if you want. And we've been doing a lot of works with schools as well, because we believe that it should go from schools up to further education. So we've been doing a lot of work with different types of communities. I am part of the board member Wales for Srebrenica as well. And we do a lot of trips for learners to go abroad and explore global collaboration, which is vital for any learner to grow and experience different types of countries as well.
Sam.
What is a centre of excellence, and how do learners benefit from this centre, and how can schools upskill their own learners without being a centre of excellence?
That's a good question. So Center of Excellence is those skills that is required for you to be ready for the real world. And say, for example, if you want to be a lab technician, do you have all the skills that is required? Are they giving you all the skills in the college for you to go into the job? So we are a Center of Excellence where we are embedding those skills within the lessons. So that means taking notes at a high standard, or calculating calculations, or communicating effectively, or working under pressure. Now, if the schools is not part of the Center of Excellence, it doesn't mean you can't, employ any of these skills. So having your own mini, competitions as an extracurricular, it will help those students to develop those skills. Making it more innovative as well, closely related to the real world, so real industry as well. They can be ready or get the learners ready for those jobs that they want to do in the future. For example, in forensic science, myself, I can speak for myself, the crime scene investigation, I created a VR where I take learners to develop those skills in VR. And then when they decide they want to go into that job, they've got those essential skills to go into. So they don't have to feel less confident, and they've got those skills to be equipped, ready for that real job.
How important and beneficial is the Centre of Excellence for those learners compared to those who aren't in the centre? And do you see those in the Centre of Excellence excel further than those who are not?
Yeah, I think it definitely has a lot of benefits, because you are focusing on those skills that is required. We know sometimes there's some skills that it could be outdated and might not even, say for example, trigonometry, maths. I'm sure you guys can relate to me. I don't use it now. What was the point of me learning it back then? Why was I stressing about it? So having that meaningful curriculum of skills that is going to be used for the real career is going to benefit the learners. I've seen it benefiting my learners, because they won competitions. We won gold, silver, and bronze in any competitions that we entered. I can see their confidence growing, the confidence in sitting exams and doing practical exams. So it does have a lot of benefits in terms of upskilling those learners.
What is your role as Technology Enhanced Learning Manager, and how do staff grow and adapt to new technology?
So that was a role that I took on. As you can see, I did a lot of roles over the years. That was a role to cover a maternity colleague of mine. And within that role, I got a lot of experience on how to be a manager and moving on from a leader to a manager. So within that role, I was privileged to manage small team of junior technologists, and another leader as well on that team. We looked at the focus on AI, which is a big thing at the moment. How do we embed AI? How do we make sure we're using safely and effectively? We did a lot of projects within the college using the makerspace, using VR, using 3D printing, but the main focus was to make sure that lecturers and also students are embedding technology and further develop those skills as well.
And where do you see the growth of technology impact in the workplace, and how do you stay up to date with the current rate of growth to excel within this role and to support staff?
So technology changes every single week, as you guys know, if you're playing gaming and you love technology, I'm sure you do. So technology is changing quite a lot. So you got to keep up to date with any journals that comes out, or we do collaborate with someone called JISC as well. So they give us up-to-date updates coming in every week. So we're making sure we are we're keeping in line. I'm not saying it is a challenge, especially when you have limited funding as well. But like I said, this year main focus was AI. We've got to make sure that all the students are using AI effectively and safely as well. We do a lot of trying and testing new apps as well. So we've got digital leads in the college, which they do that. So I'm back being a digital lead myself because I had to go back being a lecturer. So that's going to be my kind of role next year, testing different apps, seeing if it's going to be effective, if we can implement them. And if we are implementing them, we've got to make sure we've got to train our staff to do that. The main point is to make sure that we're not disadvantage anyone and that we are upskilling everyone equally. So.
And how do you combine and balance 3 roles as a lecturer, as an anti-racism curriculum project coordinator?
So you got to have a lot of time management. I am very enthusiastic and very ambitious, and I like to do different roles. But for you to keep hold of 3 roles, you got to make sure your time management is up to is really good. Organization skills as well, and you got to be very strict in saying no. Because if it is going to impact one role, for example, lecturing, I can't have that to be impacted because my students will be impacted. So I got to be very, very strict in knowing where to put myself in, and I've got to be also mature enough to say I can't do it anymore and then give it up. So it's self-discipline. It comes more from that, because I do a PhD as well, and I've got to have some time in doing writing. But yeah, time management and the right support network, you can't do it. But organizational skills is really crucial.
How do you manage your team and your projects, and how do you drive the standards? How do you drive your passion and energy whilst giving staff anatomy without coming across as controlling or being a micromanager?
So like I said before, so first thing, for you to manage all of those stuff, you got to have prioritization of task, which deadline is going to come first, which one is the priority one, which of the tasks can I assign to my team. I want my team to feel valued. I want them to feel everyone is working in collaboration. So I do share the load as well, but to make sure that they're not micromanaged, I got to give them a bit of trust and ownership as well within those projects, check in with them, making sure they know what they're doing, clear instructions, and check in with them every week actually to check what the progress is like, but also to see if they need any support. Yeah, I think that's how I do it. That's how I've been doing it.
Yeah. What is a workplace culture, and how can a culture grow and evolve, and how do you contribute towards that?
So the culture that we've got at the moment is very supportive, collaborative. We learn from each other because we all have different talents, and this is what makes it good when you've got a bit of diversity as well within the team. I think just being enthusiastic and bringing new things, it does help the culture to grow in much more healthy culture, and be committed as well, but not taking a lot on board like I do.
So can you talk to us about your work, remembering, and I hope I can say this right, Srebrenica, and why raising the importance of genocide is critical in this work?
Yeah, so I am part of the Remember Srebrenica Wales charity, but also through the anti-racism as well. I got involved because I didn't know it existed, and so many young people don't know it existed. It was hidden. And there was a lot of denial in that genocide has happened. So I started, well, we created a Srebrenica Bosnia room on the metaverse as well. So you can have a look at it. I'll share the link with you guys. And what we're trying to do is we're learning from what happened, because genocide is still going around at the moment, and the lessons are not being learned, and lots of victims and innocent people are dying in the result of that. So I've taken some learners to Bosnia about 3 weeks ago, just to speak to survivors, learn about the genocide, what happened, and how they can contribute as well, because there are some youth ambassador programs and internships as well that young people like yourself can be involved. You don't need to be in college. Schools can be involved as well. My work is to raise awareness and to bring young people to be more of active citizens and just contribute within that work as well. We met a forensic anthropologist as well. Me being a forensic scientist, I felt I needed to do a lot more as well. So there's going to be a lot of more work to do with that as well. But yeah, really just raising awareness and making sure that they are remembered and not forgotten. Because in history lessons, I'm sure you are taught about Holocaust, war, the Germany war, but something that happened in 1993 is not being taught in curriculum, and I think that's not acceptable.
So how did you become involved in the project, and what are you hoping to impact and achieve as a result of this work?
So again, networking. So when you know people, you get to talk, and then you start saying, "Oh yeah, I would like to do it," and then I jump in as you can see from my history of different roles. But the impact of it is just I felt I could contribute certain things from what I'm doing from the anti-racism. And the impact of that project is to get lots of other people involved and share the talents and also make a difference as well. So the learners got hugely impacted by it, and now they want to go over to Bosnia next year and do some voluntary work. And to me, that's already impactful. I'm already doing that little bit of getting young learners to go over there. So.
And how can you grow this work even further? And is it important that colleagues and other professionals within working capacities are aware of seminal and contemporary issues around the world? And how do you go about creating a culture where staff are informed and supportive through the authenticity of this work, rather than it just being a theme that is instilled for a period of time?
So through my work, it's quite easy because I can't just target certain subjects, for example, criminology, forensic, which I teach, and other areas like government and politics and histories. So those are the subjects that it will be easy to kind of target first and say, here we go, we've got the curriculum here, can you embed it? Can you make sure that these students have access to this? Can you make sure you are facilitating them? But again, goes back to supporting them, making sure that they're confident and they are trained to be able to do that. So it always goes back to that. I'm not saying that everyone's going to do it, but I would like to see it all embedded, where everyone have that knowledge built in. But I think that's going to be my challenge for next year.
And how can you ensure the impacts of work and projects where you can measure the actual outcomes of individual growth and learning, rather than just setting up a project and allowing it to manifest?
So yeah, for you to measure the impact of it, you've got to collect some feedback. You've got to see evidence of it being implemented. So most of my work is always having those follow-up chats or checking that the work is being implemented. If it's not implemented, why is it not being implemented? What else can we do? And not sitting on the shelf, like you said, or just waiting for it to happen. So I've got my colleague as well that helps me with this one, which we're both anti-racism leads at the college. And we both make sure that we come up with plans of embedding those curriculum within those subject areas.
How different is it to work for a charity compared to working for a college in terms of identity, projects, workflows, staffing, the approach to work and other components of a charity compared to a college?
So charity, well, if I'm a charity worker, I'm volunteer, so I'm not getting paid. With college, obviously, you've got, well, I'm getting paid, so that's an advantage. And also there's other things that I've got more opportunities of working together. So you can have college and charity working together because it's part of a community. But then I have more opportunities to embed more staff rather than having it just charity. With charity, I'm there to support them more, for me to further like develop different projects and work with vast more people. In college, it could just me working with staff and learners, so that it limits the kind of like the audience that I've got in front of me.
Then moving over to future plans. I know it. What?
Going.
Sam.
Never mind, my bad.
Yeah, so can you and would you like to talk about your work further in terms of your current projects to raise awareness whilst highlighting the great work you're doing that we haven't covered so far?
So I think I've said most of the stuff. So the main project that I'm doing at the moment is the Remembering Srebrenica, to make sure we're raising awareness. So that's one of it. I did set up an anti-racism action group so students can join in and do some research about different types of topics where I'm facilitating them. I think we've covered everything in terms of what I'm doing. I might have missed something because I'm always signing up myself onto other stuff. But I think my main focus this year also is my PhD, because I'm submitting my thesis in September 2026. So I've got to focus on that as well, just to make sure that I am contributing and bringing something back to education. For example, teaching frameworks. It would be nice to have VR experience in every single school and telling teachers on how to use it. So that's what my research is going to do. So maybe you will see your classroom be more innovative and get you ready for the real world as well.
Now moving over to future plans, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
I would like to be a principal of a college to make changes for everyone. I'm very ambitious. I love education. I've always, studied from since I got here in Wales. I think, my first job was Cardiff in Vale College. This is my only job. Before that, I was always studying, did my master's. So I would like to be a principal of a college, to make changes and be able to represent different types of groups within the education as well. But yeah, definitely that's my aspiration.
Can it be difficult to switch off from being an educator to being a parent? And what experiences have you provided to your own child to support their own growth and learning? So from the motivation of being involved in your own projects and creating awareness in others?
So yeah, it is very hard to switch off. So I had to have like a bit of a strictness with myself, but I struggled when I started working in education. I used to take home with me and I'd be like, I can't switch off. So I remember Netflix used to help me, or a documentary on TV, or music for me to switch off. Or otherwise, my brain is still thinking about marking, or still thinking about a conversation that I've had. And it was not helpful because I was bringing work at home. And then my kids look at me, they're like, "Hello, mom, are you here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." But I wasn't really present. I got 2 kids, and one of them is coming to Cardiff and Vale College in September. And they always said that through my work, I've always inspired them, and they felt motivated. They felt that they want to carry on with education. So it did help them not quitting, school, for example. I've had my son saying, "Oh, it's too hard to revise for GCSEs." But seeing me doing it, it gave him that encouragement to carry on. Even him then now wanted to do A levels. He's got a clear plan of what he wants to do in the future. And I think and it's not easy to have a teacher or a leader in the house. So I do feel sorry for my kids because my expectations are a bit too high. So I know my son will be like, "Oh, it sucks, having you as my mom, because I cannot say anything, or I cannot just not revise." So it is hard, having a teacher in the house, which I cannot relate to because my mom is not a teacher. But it definitely motivates them. It definitely gives them a purpose. And I try to keep work away from home as much as I could. COVID couldn't happen because obviously we were teaching online, so everything was from my living room. But it definitely gives motivation to both of my kids to follow their dreams, and learn from me as much as they could.
Now, Josephine, that's all the questions we have for today. But if it's okay with you, would we be able to go on to some quick fire questions, please?
Yeah, of course.
What's your favourite food?
Oh, so I like spicy food, right? So anything with meat, spicy food, rice, yeah, throw it to me.
What's your favourite TV show?
Oh, I don't have a TV show because I stopped watching TV really. But will Netflix series or anything like that count?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the moment I'm watching something called Lost, but I like crime stuff. So anything to do with power, any crime stuff, or yeah.
What's your favourite film?
Oh, I don't have one. I don't even have time, guys. Have you seen my my roles? I don't think I have a favorite film.
That's okay. What's your favourite place?
Oh, well, I do miss back home, so I think, am I allowed to say my country, Malta?
Who's your role models?
My grandma. Definitely my grandma.
And what's your 3 non-negotiables in life?
Oof. 3 non-negotiables. So does that, yeah, okay. I do not like negativity. Don't bring that to me. I'm not listening. You can't say no to me. I always make sure you will have to say yes to me. I got those negotiation skills. Ooh, I am not sure about the third one.
That's okay.
So Josephine, that's everything we have for today. So thank you for agreeing to come on the podcast. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me and all the questions. I don't know where she disappeared to. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I will share the link with you.
Can you hear me?
Guys. Yes, we can hear you. I can share the link with you guys as well for the anti-racism metaverse.
Can you hear me? Right back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Serena, are you doing your outro as well or no?
Oh, my outro. Nah, not today, not today.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on, Josephine. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you guys. Have a good, lovely day.
Yeah, you too.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.